Hey everyone! So today's video is going to be sort of my experience at week 1 and week 2 of yoga teacher training. I would have normally done, or I had planned to do like week 1 and then update, and then week 2 and update, but week 1 was extremely emotional and way different than I had anticipated, so I'm gonna combine them together. I wasn't able to like film a video last week because I just didn't feel ready. So I'm gonna kind of show you, the idea of this video will be a little bit of what we're learning, everything that I have for this week, current stuff I'm doing, what I did last week and the assignments, that kind of thing, just to give you an idea of what we're doing. So first things first is this is my binder that the teacher gave us at the first class. Has the name of our studio, her name, what teacher training we're going through. So it's the registered yoga 200-hour multi-style yoga teacher training, and the month, and then our names. So how my teacher does it is every week she gives us a syllabus saying teacher training 1, and then the practice, what we're going to discuss in class, what we read out loud, any handouts she gives, and then the assignments, and then writing. So she often starts every packet with a quote. She says she really loves quotes, and I think that is awesome because I do as well. So if you can see here, this was last week's quote, and it says, "You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way." And that's from Dr. Seuss, and I love it. So it is ripped, though, because my cats knocked my book down. So anyway. So last week we went, our first practice and things that we went over were Surya Namaskara A, which is the sun salutations for Ashtanga. We're basically really focusing in on Ashtanga yoga right now and learning all of it. So this week right now, our last week was Surya Namaskara A. We basically had to teach it to our class, and that's like our little teacher training class, not like a paying customer class or anything like that. It was just teaching it to the class, and basically teaching as far as, you know, from the very beginning till just the first series, like not the second, not a whole Ashtanga class or the whole entire Ashtanga practice, not that. But we had to both do it in Sanskrit and English, and when we would breathe, and our foundations, dristis, all that stuff. So most of the stuff I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to define every single thing I'm talking about. Like, I'm not going to define I'll tell you what a dristi is or whatever, but I'm not going to define every single thing, because I'm assuming people who are watching this are either people who know a little bit about yoga, a lot about yoga, or are interested in yoga, so they've done some research. I'm not really going to be like a person that comes on here and tells you like, this is this, you know, like, because I'm not that. I'm still learning. I'm learning everything. So all I'm doing is kind of just sharing my experience. So we practice Surya Namaskara A, the Ashtanga yoga invocation. So we've been practicing that. We have to say that at some point in the class. I don't have a date on that, but I have been practicing it, and then practicing our Ujjayi breath, which Ujjayi breath is just breathing in through your nose and making a noise at the back of your throat, kind of like an ocean. It's a victorious breath, and then breathing back out your nose again. And what that does is help you maintain your breath, and the whole practice of Ashtanga, you absolutely have to have the Ujjayi breath to practice Ashtanga and not just die. Or not to just be like a physical activity, to be a yoga like practice, you need to do the Ujjayi breath. So basically what we discussed is we just like introduce ourselves. So in here are my journal. I have been journaling exactly kind of what I feel. I'm not going to go into detail at all, because for a couple reasons. First, everything that we talked about is private, and then the experience that I had is very emotional, and I'm going to give you like kind of an idea what it is, but I'm not going to go into detail because I didn't go into detail in class either, but I mean, it's pretty obvious what happened, whatever. But I just don't want to be, at this point in my life right now, I'm not ready to like talk about stuff, but, and I wasn't in there either, but I was taken off guard. So anyway, what I'm going to do is kind of just tell you my experience, and I kind of journaled it a little bit. So today was the first day of yoga teacher training, and I was so nervous. All morning I could feel the tightness in my chest, and I was just freaking out, which is exactly what it was. I was very nervous. When it was finally time to go to class, I went over my list in my head 3 or 4 more times before actually getting out the door. Driving to the studio was a bit of a blur. My mind was racing. I was so excited, yet I was so very nervous. Before I went inside, I don't even know why I was scared. I have gone to yoga so many times before. Sorry, my hand's doing this. I'm a hand talker. But this time was just so different. I hate the unknown. I like planning. I like knowing all the possible things that could happen beforehand. I like to be prepared, and yoga teacher training was something I really had no idea what to expect. So that's kind of an idea of like, I just journaled exactly how I was feeling, and that's pretty much where I go. Basically this just goes into a little more detail about everything in my journal, and then I'm just going to pop over to the second week, so I'm going to talk to you about that. So that's kind of where I was, and that's kind of how the journaling goes. I'm really telling exactly how I feel, so that way I can look back on it. We're also supposed to journal, so that's good. We all introduce ourselves. Every single one of the women there are there for a different reason, and it's a beautiful reason, and not everybody's there to teach, which is where I'm kind of at. I'm not 100% sure if I want to teach or not. Anyway, so it was really, really cool. It's so cool to like find all these people who love yoga and are like-minded as me, and it's really awesome. And so we all introduced ourselves, and we all told our first experience of coming to the studio and what brought us there and how we felt, and that was amazing. It was really nice to get to talk to everyone. So it was really nice. Very intense, very emotional. Our teacher did then share a story about one of the past teachers that was in the teacher training, and a really traumatic thing that happened in her life during her teacher training, which hit home to me, and I wasn't expecting it, and it was really, really hard, because I don't want anyone to really know this about me, about something that happened in my childhood, which I am still working on. Maybe one day I'll make a video about it once I've healed from it. Right now I'm in therapy right now, going through it. So for me, it's like, I'm not ready to talk about it, and I wasn't ready in that class that I thought for anybody to know anything, but I was so emotional when she was telling the story. I'm sure that they knew what was happening. So that was really hard and really, really unexpected. So if you're going to yoga teacher training, I would say get ready for that, because you really go down deep into who you are and what made you who you are right now. So, and a lot of the girls shared tons of stuff about hardships and things that they went through and are still going through, and it's hard, and it's definitely a really cool experience. So if you're nervous about that, I say still do it, because I was super nervous, but I'm so happy, and I'm only in freaking week 2, and I can only imagine what's coming from here. All right, so that's basically what's happening. We read aloud about some the Ashtanga invocation, Ujjayi breath, and helpful like meditation things. So that's what we kind of learned about. She gave us a couple handouts about Ashtanga primary series, which is what we're learning, and then our assignments. So I'm going to talk to you about our assignments. So the first one was sorry, I have like all my stuff like piled up all over the place here, is to read our Heart of Yoga. Okay. Was to read the Heart of Yoga and then write a book report on it, and that was good. I really enjoyed this book. I like it. I made tons of highlights and notes in it to go back to. That's another thing she said too, is you always kind of go back to this book. Sorry, the cat's always going crazy. So this was the first thing that I read, and that's what we went through, and it was great. So, I mean, it's pretty simple. That's the first thing. Then we had to write an essay. Oh my gosh, all my stuff is everywhere. Actually, gosh, I'm all over the place. Sorry if this video is kind of unorganized. That's my life right now. I'm struggling to get on a schedule. So we have to start reading The Light on Yoga. That book report is due week 4, so I have a few more weeks, but I've already started reading that quite a bit, through it, so that's good. So we're doing that. Then we had to teach Surya Namaskar A, using all the foundations and the dristis and the Ajayana breath, which I already told you. And then we had to write all that out too and define a couple of things. So I'm not going to go into like super detail, but kind of give you the idea. And then we had to write a personal essay on ahimsa. So I did, and it was good. I mean, now that I know what to expect, I think this week's essay will be a lot better, and it's really a good one for me because I have a perfect example to relate it to. A book that she recommended to us on the first week was Don't Be an Asshole Yoga Teacher, and this book is awesome. If you teach yoga, if you practice yoga, if you are a studio owner, I say pick up this book because it's awesome. And it's really, really good for right now learning because all of the yamas that we're learning and that we're writing essays on, each chapter is dedicated to one of those. And then another cool thing is not only does it tell you basically what about the yama and how to relate it in your everyday life, it lets you dig deeper by giving you a specific pose that is associated with it, and then how to get there, and then mudra, that's also, which is the a hand, like your hands, like you can bring them in, like this is the mudra right here of Sata. Now I'm not really good with my Sanskrit or my pronunciation, but and then also gives you a mantra that you can chant during meditation or during practice. So I really, really like this. Again, last week was ahimsa, excuse me, ahimsa, which is nonviolence. So, in being kind and kindness to all living creatures. And this week is Sata or Satya, and it's commitment to honesty. So, I'm not going to get into detail about my personal essays because they are personal, obviously, and everybody's going to feel differently about them. So, for me, this week's I got a good one about speaking my truth and being truthful, and a certain like relationship I just went through. I'm really excited. So good book, and I've been using that for the teacher training. So that was week 1, everything through. So week 2, which just happened this past Saturday. I'm trying not to make this video super long. I'm so sorry. I have a lot to say. So week 2, we practiced the Ashtanga, or Surya Namaskar A. We taught it in class, which was good. I was super nervous. I went really fast, and I forgot a couple foundations, but my Sanskrit was okay, and I feel like I did good. It stinks because like I know Ashtanga, like at least I know A and B, and then I kind of can move into the other things because I take Ashtanga classes a lot, and I'm actually going to take one tonight. I'm actually going to take 2 classes tonight. That's the other things you have to practice at least 3 times a week, 2 with the owner and then 2 with any other teacher. But I practice at least like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 times a week. So for me, that's awesome. This week I took a week off work, so I am going to be practicing like 10. I'm taking like 10 classes this week, and I already went to an open studio this morning, and I'm real tired because I practiced my Surya Namaskar B all morning and getting into Chaturanga and popping up into down dog. It's been awesome. So anyway, so that is week 2. We also learned adjustments this week, and just adjusting through Surya Namaskar A, or the sun salutations. So when you're in mountain pose, like pulling the hip or pulling the your shoulders back so they're aligned right. We learned about forward fold, like where to adjusting we don't really adjust for chaturanga because it kind of moves quickly, but down dog we learned a really awesome couple adjustments in there, and I really loved it, and I really felt good about myself, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. So that was awesome. And then let me just pop over here and tell you what we're doing for this week. So week 2, we're again practicing the Ashtanga invocation, which I've been listening to, so that's good. We are going to we talked about yoga being a religion and how to deal with people asking about yoga and in conjunction with like religion. So she kind of gave us an idea of how to deal with that. We also learned about types of hatha yoga or hutha yoga, and then about Om. So we read about that. We have to continue this week reading the Ashtanga practice manual, light on yoga, and then the book reports. We do week 4. We have to practice this week. This is a little bit of a not as intense week, I feel like. We have to write out the poses for Surya Namaskara B, giving the first breath all the way through using English and Sanskrit, so same thing. And then we have to teach A and B together. So we're adding A to B and combining it all. And then the personal essay, which I said was about truthfulness or sata. And we also have to journal out like our behavior and how we're feeling this week, which I do normally anyway, so that's cool. And then practicing Jayu, Pramayana, and personal journaling. So this week is a lot easier, I think, for me. I feel really good. I've already read, like I said, about my essay. Pretty pumped about that. And then I've been practicing. So everything is cool. I am doing a video about the yoga mats that's coming. I actually might try to film that outside at some point if the weather stays nice, just because that way I can like get them all up or whatever. But I also wanted to just show real quick the book Namaste from Candace Moore. This book has been awesome for helping me. I have a ton of little flags in here because they're really good. She shows so much stuff about like she'll do the sun salutations and stuff, but what I like about it is like, so say I'm struggling in my forward fold, she really breaks down the poses. So what to do, like do this, don't do this. Making sure your hip joints are over your ankles, your feet are together, your fingertips are in line with your toes. Really breaking down the poses. And for me, that's really awesome because my teacher, like, she will do it, but I really just want to learn it on my own and then, you know, have her look over it afterwards. I just want to make sure I'm doing everything right. And I know she's there to teach and I just don't want to be like annoying or anything, which I know she's there to teach me, so that's not being annoying, but I also just like to use this too in conjunction with my practice. So it's been really good. I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about. My journal entry for this week was I'm starting to get into a routine, which is awesome. We taught the Surya Namaskar A and I was super nervous, but I did okay. Like I said, I needed to slow down more. I'm feeling a lot closer to the girls in the group, which is really cool because they're all just sharing really cool things that are happening to them, and it's really nice to talk about things with people who like the same things as me and who love yoga the same, so that's really cool. And I just put in there that I'm really excited and happy that I decided to do this. So that is it. This was a super long video because I combined the 2 weeks. So hopefully next week when I do week 3, it'll be a little bit less. But I did want to pop on here and just say, hey guys, and tell you a little bit about my week, or my past 2 weeks. And I hope you're enjoying this series, and there'll be a lot more to come because I got the okay from the owner also to film in studio and stuff like that. So super pumped about that. So until next week, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.